Yo, yo, yo. So it's Ken. I'm sorry for the little beeping. I don't know if you guys can hear that beeping. I don't know what causes that beeping. If you guys know, please let me know so I can produce these nicer videos for you. We're shooting in a new resolution right now. We're gonna do a new deck. Uh, I did mono black control, but let's try Grixis? Do you want to say Grixis? Let's do a Grixis list. Um, so I'm just going to create a room here so I can show you the Grixis list that I am going to play. And I'll show you the main board cards, the sideboard, what the deck is trying to do, so on and so forth. So the only reason why I built this deck is because I want to play Nicol Bolas, because that guy is badass. Um, but the problem with Nicol Bolas is that guy has 8 mana, and it is pretty hard to get 8 mana out on the board in a fairly efficient amount of time and be crazy, unless I'm running like Wolfrun. But not only is he 8 mana, he is 2 black, a blue, a red, and then 4 colorless. So I need quite a bit of variety in my mana base. So basically what I've done is I like control. I think control is way more intuitive than just playing beatdown, and I mean those aren't the only 2 decks out in the format, beatdown and control, but basically you can look at every game as a game of beatdown versus control. Um, it's a battle for control, and once you got control you beat down, no matter what the deck is. This is fundamental magic right here. So um, let me show you my card choices. Basically, the deck in general, it runs a bunch of card draw, disruption in the form of mana leaks, spot removal like Doomblade, Slagstorm, Pillar of Flame for mass removal, Life's Finale, and then I drop on my turn 6 or 7 or whatnot. I start dropping the huge threats: Griselbrand, Consecrated Sphinx, Olivia, Nicol Bolas. The mana base, I'm running 4 Sulphur Falls, 4 Dark Dragon Skull Summits, 4 Drowned Catacombs, and I'm also running 4 islands, 3 swamps, 4 mountains, and 2 Desolate Lighthouses. That puts me at 25 mana. One thing about the mana base is you see there's no Scars lands here, because as a control player, my turn 1 and turn 2 aren't as important to me as turn 5, turn 6. I want mana to come in untapped, and if I play, I don't, I never want to see the land come in tapped, and the mana base is already shaky as it is. It, having a land come in tapped on turn 4 or 5 could mean the difference between playing Life's Finale and stabilizing, or playing playing Gilded Lotus so I can go Nicol Bolas on turn 6, whatever. So there's a reason, there's a reason why there are no Scars in the control, and I don't know if that's always the right thing to do, but for me, I like to keep Scars in a more aggro, early turn-based kind of deck for Type 2. So that's the mana base. The only planeswalkers that I'm playing are Nicol Bolas. I'm thinking about testing Tamiyo, so if some of you guys have used Tamiyo, give me your opinions on her. I have 2 Nicol Bolases in here. I always want to pull one game, and if I pull the second one, then it's no big deal, because if for whatever the game is close, they deal with Nicol Bolas, I have another one in hand, or I can just toss it up to Desolate Lighthouse as discard fodder. I'm looking at Tamiyo. She looks like a pretty cool card. I have never play tested. I've never used the card before. I've never used the card before, but it's interesting. I did use Liliana of the Veil before, and while there are quite a bunch of items that you can discard and replay with Snapcaster, it. I don't know. I don't like the value. I think in an aggro heavy meta, like each of these cards, you want to get the maximum value out of them. So that means not discarding them. That means playing these cards twice if you can. So that's just my own opinion on that, especially since I got Forbidden Alchemy. So moving on, we got 3 Slag Storms here. These could be Whip Flare, but I am worried about Blade Splicer, Beast Tokens. I'm worried about things that just get over Whip Flare. I'm worried about, Geralf's Geralf's Messenger. Slag Storm hits Planeswalkers, or it can hit a Planeswalker for 3, which is nice when early Lily comes out. It's a good card. It's pretty decent, and it can go 3 to the face if you're desperate. Chances are you're never going to have a life lead until the game is already won. Could be Whip Flare. Just remember, Whip Flare doesn't hit artifact creatures, so Blade Splicer not only survives 2 damage, it's just not going to get hit by it. Got 3 Ponders in here. Ponder, I always like Ponder, but in this deck, you'll find that as you reach the mid game, you really need to make sure you draw an answer. And Ponder can, but sometimes you get an answer in like 2 just dead cards, and then that basically kills you for those 2 turns after you draw your answer. So I tend to 3 is a good number. I do want to pull it early and often, but I don't want it late. I got 2 Life's Finale. I think it helps with the mass removal. 3 helps with the 3 whatever Slag Storm and Black Suns can't clear. Life's Finale does clear, and it gives you some insight into what they're running in their deck. I like the card. It's pretty decent. 2 Black Sun Zenith. Not sure about these. I might switch these out to Whip Flare. It's a decent card. Pillar of Flame, I only have as a 2 of. I'm thinking of making this a 3 of. I think there's a lot of 1 or 2 toughness creatures that pose a lot of threats as the game goes on. Strangle Geist, Doom Traveler, those are the 2 creatures I hate the most in Standard. Silverblade Paladin, there's a lot of things, and this thing deals with them, doesn't give them that inherent card advantage. I like it. For instance, we got 2 Doomblade. These could be go for the throat, but since we have already, Slag Storm is pretty much our answer to anything that's black. If people go with the thing about the black threats are that I think they come out slow. You know what I mean? Like, aside from Obliterator, and those are threats that I would want to keep and send them the other way, and I'll explain later. So I don't really care about destroying them, and if I really did need to, then I'll side these out for something else. 1 Tribute to Hunger. It's 1 of, because I don't, I don't know. It's been working for me. I got 1 Forbidden Alchemy. I think 1 or 2 is the right number for this card. I only have 1, but whenever I drew it, it was great. It was a perfect card for the deck, but I can definitely see not wanting to see it more than 1 or 2 times, but you got Snapcaster to snap it back, so 1 or 2 might be the right answer. I got 3 Think Twice, it's a good card. I got 1 Mainboard Dissipate. This might not be right. I got 3 Mana Leaks. For game 1s, I think this is right. Game 2, you probably want to put Negate, something else in there for it. But Mana Leak's okay. Creatures, we got Grizzlebrand, who's another, basically this is another Nico Bolas. It doesn't do the same thing at all, but, he's lifelink, he's flying, and drawing 7 is crazy. Consecrated Sphinx, this deck really needs to draw. I'm not sure if Sphinx is the right card here, because when you're at 6 or 7 mana, you just want to win anyway. Consecrated Sphinx is kind of like, draw 2, and then, or ideally at least draw 2, and that, I like him. I think he's one of the best blue creatures, but it's up in the air about what he can do. Olivia Voldaren to me is definitely one of the best win conditions in the deck, especially if you challenge creature heavy decks or decks that just rely on resolving something really big, because once you hit 7 mana on the board, this creature takes over the game. I rarely drop her as a 4-drop because if I'm playing Grixis, this is definitely one of the cards you want to play. But I rarely drop her as a 4-drop because you really want her to surprise your opponent and just take over the game. And she kills a lot of smaller creatures in conjunction with things like Curse of Death's Hold. And if you have mana, she can get out of hand really, really quickly. 3 Snapcasters to help, just add some mileage to my spells, and then 2 Gilded Lotus, because it's a sick card, man. I mean, this means turn 6 Nicol Bolas, or turn 6 Griselbrand, and I think that is sick. Or that also means, turn 6 Olivia Voldaren, and shooting 2 creatures. So, I mean, it's got play. I love the card. So we'll play test and see how it does.